Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Max AC channel. For this month's theme, we will be celebrating AniMay, where we will be making 4 recipes inspired by 4 different animated pieces of entertainment. For this week's episode, we will be making 2 recipes, Spirit Oasis Tea and Aunt Woo's Bean Curd Puffs from the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender. For the Spirit Oasis tea, you will need 1 large stalk of lemongrass, 3 slices of galangal or ginger, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1½ cups of boiling water, 1 teaspoon of rose water, and some butterfly pea tea or extract. Then for the ice cubes, you will need some juice of a few satsumas or oranges and some cold water. First, we will want to heat up our water. So in a kettle, warm up some water until it starts boiling. While we wait, we'll prep the ingredients. For the lemongrass, remove the first outer layer and then roughly chop the bottom part of the bulb into small pieces, and you should be able to smell the lemoniness coming out of it. Then for the galangal, you'll want to peel the skin off and then slice this into small pieces as well. Then, when you're ready, combine lemongrass, galangal, and sugar in a heat-proof glass or bowl. And if you're using butterfly pea tea rather than extract, I recommend adding it now as well. Then add the boiling water and stir. Let this cool, and while we wait, we'll prepare the ice cubes. For the orange juice, squeeze the orange to extract the juice, and then add some water to dilute it. You are welcome to use normal ice cube trays for this, but I think ball ice would look nice. And it kind of looks like the moon, which is very important to the Spirit Oasis in the show, so I think it fits pretty well. Once your molds are filled, freeze it overnight or until solid. Once the mixture has cooled down, stir in the rose water, and if you haven't already, add enough butterfly pea extract to turn the entire concoction a light blue. Then, let the mixture infuse for 8 hours or overnight in the refrigerator. You don't have to, but I recommend placing it into a glass bottle if you have one lying around. While we wait for this to infuse, we'll make Aunt Woo's Bean Curd Puffs. For the Bean Curd Puffs, you will need about 2 tablespoons of flavorful fat of any kind, such as lard, bacon fat, or butter, 6 or so cloves of garlic, 1-inch knob of fresh ginger or galangal, 5 scallions or green onions, 1 tablespoon of fermented or salted black beans, some salt, 4 cups or about 1 pound of taro, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of white vinegar, 24 or so pre-made fried tofu puffs, and some oil to fry with. First, we'll prepare the taro. Peel the skin off with a knife, and then chop the taro into slices, and then dice this up into small pieces like so. We will be steaming these, so try to make the pieces big enough so that they don't fall through the holes of the steamer. Heat up some water in a pot, and then place your basket with the taro on top and steam it for about 15 minutes or so, or until the taro is tender. While we wait, we'll prepare the rest of the ingredients. For the garlic, remove the skins and then give the cloves a rough chop. Then for the scallions, chop off the root and then roughly chop this into pieces as well. Then for the ginger, peel off the skin and then roughly chop this also. Once your aromatics are ready, heat your choice of fat in a small sauté pan over medium heat until it's slick and shiny. Then add your garlic, ginger, scallions, black beans, and some salt, and sauté that for 2 to 3 minutes or until it's fragrant. Remove from the heat and then transfer to a food processor. Process this until it's minced, and then add the taro to the food processor with the sugar and vinegar. Continue processing to combine thoroughly. Season with salt to taste, and then remove it from the food processor and store it in a container if you aren't using it right away. Once you're ready to make the puffs, heat the oil to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. While we wait, we'll prepare the puffs. Score the pre-made fried tofu puffs with an X and carefully remove the innards with a spoon, leaving the outside flap intact. Or for an easier way, cut the X a little bit deeper and then fold out the sides to allow easier access to the center, and just remove the innards with your fingers. Once the puffs are empty, stuff them with your savory taro paste and reseal them with the outside flap. I found it easiest to grab the taro paste with some chopsticks and then use your fingers to slide the paste off into the puffs. Once they're all ready, fry the tofu puffs in oil until well crisp on the outside, and the taro is warmed on the inside. Take care not to overcrowd the oil with too many tofu puffs at once. Then, once they're done, drain them on some paper towels, and let them cool for a couple of minutes before serving. And with that, your Spirit Oasis tea and Aunt Wu's bean curd puffs are ready to eat. I've been meaning to do some recipes from this Avatar The Last Airbender cookbook for a while now, but I wasn't sure how to fit it into the themes that I had been doing for the past few months. In fact, it was another reason why I wanted to do an animation theme for this month. This cookbook is actually pretty great, and has a lot of really cool recipes that are seen throughout the show. There were so many that I wanted to do, and so it was hard to decide which one I wanted to do for this episode, but I ended up choosing these two. Specifically, I chose the Spirit Oasis tea, because I had already had some butterfly pea flower tea from a previous recipe that I made for this month, and I wanted to see how the color change effect looked. I didn't really see it change over time, but weirdly, the color of the drink appeared to be purplish pink on my camera when the drink was more of a dark purple blue color in real life. So I guess this tea is truly magical. For Aunt Wu's bean curd puffs, I chose these because they were from the episode called The Fortune Teller, which is one of, if not the first Avatar episode that I had seen growing up, and I always wondered what they tasted like, especially with how enthusiastically Sokka was eating them. And they did not disappoint.
Not bad, not bad.
Though, if you plan on eating a lot of them at once, I recommend pairing it with a simple dipping sauce made with some sriracha, soy sauce, and vinegar to add some acidity and spiciness to pair with a savory bean curd filling. Also, oddly, when I was looking for images to add for this video, I found a much simpler version of this dish that I guess is part of a different edition of this cookbook. Not sure why they decided to change it, but I'm sure the other version is also delicious as well. Also, I realized this afterwards, but you could probably use an air fryer to make these as well if you don't want to deep fry them and have to clean up the oil afterwards. Though, I did buy this oil solidifier powder, and it does seem to work pretty well. So I highly recommend getting this if you're going to fry anything. This recipe book is quite interesting because instead of using more common ingredients found here in the West, many of the recipes use more obscure ingredients to remain more authentic to the Eastern origins of the dishes found in the world of Avatar. Speaking of which, if you haven't already watched this show before, I highly recommend that you do. Even though it was a show made for children, I think it's still a worthwhile watch even as an adult for its story and life lessons, as well as a great and memorable cast of characters. Take it from someone who has watched it over a dozen times all the way through and enjoyed every episode each time, it's a great show. Plus, if you do decide to make these dishes, it makes a good snack to eat while watching the show. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. In the comments below, let me know how it went if you decided to make it, and let me know if there's anything you want me to make next. Like the video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to this channel for more episodes of the Max AC channel. And remember, if you want to stay cool in the kitchen, turn your AC to the max and watch the Max AC channel.
You've got a little dirt on your... everywhere, actually.
You call it dirt. I call it a healthy coating of earth.